Hello, I'm Dr. Harper. This video is in Project Management, BANA 6650, Spring 2021. And this is just a brief video on project instructions. Let's bring up the information, project instructions. And first I just cover what is in the syllabus. And from the syllabus, the individual project reports, each student is required to conduct independent research on a topic based on material related to this course. Now I start with that sentence of independent research. And so that doesn't mean you work alone. You can certainly collaborate. But what I mean by independent research is that you generate your report and your material with information from everywhere, from books, from wherever you can get it from, but you create your own report. So the independent research is that you find information, you collaborate, and create your own result, your own deliverable. On topic based on material related to this course. The individual report will be submitted as a PDF. Guidelines for the project are, and these guidelines are important because this pretty much sets the stage for what I'm looking for. 1, a topic related to this course. In other words, don't talk about finance or marketing or about project management. So it has to be something in project management, either projects or about project management or a project or something. 2, a topic beyond this course that was not specifically covered in this course, such as going deeper than the level of rigor in this course or going broader than the techniques in this course. This material is very broad, very deep, and I just had a very introductory type treatment of the material. And so you can go broader, things that I didn't cover, you can go deeper in some of these things that I didn't cover. So that's another area that you could certainly have a project over, individual report over. 3, an appropriate case study of material in this course. Now, what do you mean by case study? I wanted that to be vague. The case study could be looking at projects, like a meta-analysis, what other people did in their projects, or it could be looking at a specific project, or a project that you're on, or that you have been involved with, or that you know is ongoing, and maybe interview. So any type of case study where the material is applied. But if you do, rather than just saying, here's what this project is, again, relate it back to this course. So this course says this, they did this, compare. And for example, previous courses, there were 2 different projects came in, and both were government projects. One was a project where the project was really a failure. That's a very good project to say, here's a failure, here's why it failed, here's what they did that didn't work. Another one wasn't exactly the same project, but it was still in the same area and within government. It was highly successful. Here's what they did that was successful. That comparison was very, very good in that lecture, in that course at that time years ago. And so the idea of a case study is focusing on a project, but then tying it to the material in the course. Also, a topic may be selected from a list provided on the website, mdkmharper or mdharper.com. However, each student must have a different project. Aha. So let me go to this now. Before we get into the details, let's go to my website. And the way you get to it is you go to Canvas. Here's Canvas. Right down here is a link to the website, mdharper.com. Under Project Management tab. And then here's where some of these lectures and everything are. Come down at the bottom. At the bottom here, project topic list. Now these are just suggestions. You don't have to do this. But a lot of people in the previous years, they said, I don't know what to do. Do you have any suggestions? Okay, so I have some here. First of all, sustainability. Some people, and justifiably so, are into sustainable practice. And the sustainable practice could be a sustainable project or a project on a sustainable topic, or the sustainable application of, let's say, landscape architecture or the sustainability of maybe a building, of a design build construction. So the sustainability practice would be certainly an area that would be fantastic. And usually I do have people who want to go into that. Okay, well, like person one, review the book. And these references, you don't have to use these, but if you go to this reference, the green project management, okay? And this is greening of project management. Another one, let's do this again. I think this is a different one. Yep, Handbook for Sustainable Projects. So the global sustainability. So this is much broader. The other was more specific. This is broader. So the sustainable practice could be very specific, could be broad. Here's another one, SEED methodology for guidebook for the public interest, SEED methodology, case studies. Let's see here. Yep. This is a public interest design practice guidebook. And so depending on the level of sustainability, if it's very specific, if it's broad, if it's global, if it's project oriented or a project on sustainability, and here's a person for, let's see here, this guy's in PMP, the power of design build. This is a PMP guy. He has a certification in here. Anyway, so here's 4 different ideas for people who want to do sustainable practice. Now, the reason I have 4 different ones is for people every person must do their own project. You can't team up to do the same project, but you can team up and help each other with each other's project. In other words, each one of these references, notice what I say here, persons 4, 5, and 6 review the book, describe one of the case studies in part 2. So there's a lot of case studies. So you can have the same book, 2 or 3 people can have the same book, just different perspectives on that material. That's sustainability. Complex project. This is one of my favorites. I really like this. It's simple, straightforward. It's logical. It's helpful. It's pretty general. But what it is tools for complex projects. And I think, let's see here. The copyright's pretty old. It's not that new, because it's timeless. See, I don't even see a copyright in here. Doesn't matter. The idea here, tools for complex project. What these people do, they go through projects that are not simple, not traditional, that are complex, but they define complexity. Why is it complex? It's complex by one of 5 or 6 different ways. And within this definition of complexity, they go deeper and have different versions of it. And they say, well, if you have this type of complexity and you're looking at it this way, here are tools for that type of complexity. It's very, very good. And even if you don't do a project on it, I recommend getting the book, buying it, and reading it. It's an easy read, and it's very organized, and it was just fun to read because, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's clever. And sometimes they say, I would do it differently, but it makes you think. And I love people's ideas because it makes me think. Sometimes I agree and sometimes I disagree, but hey, we're thinking. Okay, and so this is one, and 1, 2, 3, there could be a lot of people. The whole course, the whole class could probably different aspects of this one book. Okay, then organizational sustainability. Now, this sustainability up here is sustainable practice. And so here, some people are looking more organizational structure, especially management type people who are going to be in large corporations. How do you create an organizational structure such that sustainability is supported and promoted? Well, this goes into that, and it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting book. And again, this is becoming a sustainable organization, either regionally, domestically, regionally, or globally. Okay, and then maturity models. Okay, we really didn't talk about maturity models too much in this course, which is unfortunate. We could have, but there are references here on different maturity models. And the maturity models have to do with, because we looked at Wysocki. Instead of looking at these maturity models, Wysocki's hybrid framework really is a maturity model. You're going through and developing and developing and developing, and you have it. And so a maturity model, they'll usually evaluate something identifies areas that need improvement. And his hybrid model, I think, does that in a more practical sense. This is more of a top-down type of approach. And notice the first one here, I have Waisaki's book. This is Waisaki's book. He wrote this on effective complex project management, adaptive agile framework for discovering business value. On this one, it's very similar to our textbook, but here he focuses on the organizational structure, on how that can support your projects within the business value in your portfolio. But then there are other references too. This is this is just from PMI. The PMI, they also have the maturity model, and that's pretty big. You can even get certified in project not certified. You can get I forget what it's called, a recognition badge that you are aware of the maturity model PMQ'd. So and that's just taking a test, reading it, taking a test. And then here's a Prince 2 models, another type of Prince 2 lean models, on and on. So these are 4 or 5, but there's many more. And finally, certification. Well, not finally, but final research would be certification. And I have 2 books here. Is Ellis, the Ellis book. Ellis's approach, her approach is one organizational approach. And if you go back and look at Mulcahy, Rita's approach is another type of organization. So each are doing the same thing, getting at the same goal. They have the same goal, but the solution is different. They have different organizational structures that go towards certification. So either one of these is fine, or both. I've had groups come in, and one person does Ellis and the other person does McKay, and then they compare. A third person compares. So what are you going to do? And again, something you're interested in, something in this area, and something that you would want to know more about. Okay, this last one, I did it years ago. I really didn't, I don't push this too much, but every once in a while someone just wants to go deeper into some of the problems that we've had, more technical. Notice all these are pretty broad in scope and pretty applicable. And so the Waisaki approach is very applied, and this course is much more applied than detailed oriented. But this last one, the Silver Project, if you download this, open this up, I left it in here. If we bring this over, here's, whoa, wrong one. Let's see here. Let me open this up again so I won't give you guys, here it is. I go into convulsions there. Little matrix. Okay, anyway, Silver, what this is just going into PERT, looking at probabilities, looking at risks, and giving proposals of a bidding strategy within a design build type of responding to an RFP. And so anyone who's interested in this, I'll be more than happy to work with you on this. This combines, the Silver 1 project combines a lot of information there. It combines PERT, it combines probability, cost. And notice down here, it's talked about crashing. We crash you can crash it. And also it also illustrates when you begin bidding on proposals, quite often what you will do is your bidding partners, your bidding opponents, how they bid and what they're doing, and you do the same bids over and over, especially in an industry. You know how they're going to bid. You know how they analyze things. You know how conservative and liberal they are. So you fold into utility theory into this. You fold into risk analysis in this. You fold into crashing, and you fold into the different scenarios. And so, and decision analysis in this. And so here's your decision analysis, here's the utility, here's the PERT, here's the crashing, that kind of thing. And so you say, okay, well, how do you go about doing this? Well, why are you crashing? Because you will bid for this to get it. And you can't do it the way it is. But if you crash it, then you can get the reward, the awards, okay, the reward from getting it done early. And that reward offsets the money you use to crash it. And so those kinds of things are part of this. I don't go into it as that much as I haven't gone into it at all in this course, but I have gone into crashing. I have gone into PERT, and this is just an application. I didn't have this part of the course because this is only one application. There's many applications similar to this. Anyone who's interested in this, that's perfectly fine too. Notice I did this a while back. I just left it in here, and I haven't really changed it because it's the same problem. Okay, that was just last year. So that's the overview. That's pretty much our overview and also details. Okay, let's get into how to do it. The originally composed individual report shall demonstrate the student's knowledge of the research and an ability to effectively communicate the knowledge appropriate to a business professional. This is a business analytics course, so it's not just technical. It has to be communicated to a business professional. Mistakes people made in the past, they just talk about almost to an engineer. This is not to an engineer, it's to a business professional looking at business, the broader view. That's why I have those larger, the broader perspective on the other types of projects with sustainability, sustainable practice, or organizational structure. Each individual report must be unique. Write your own. Each individual report must be professionally composed with an introduction, main body, conclusion, and references. Although no literary structure is required, a suggested length of the report is more than 2 pages, including graphs and tables. However, the length of the report should follow the guideline of succinct but adequate. The length should be enough to adequately present your work. That's the adequacy. Length can be considered negative if too long and content is not significant. That's the succinctness. The more succinct you are to get your point across that you want to make, the better. Submit the completed individual report only through Canvas as a PDF file on or before the due date and time. Now, I say this because it's much easier to grade that way. It's dated, but for some reason, if you can't submit it through Canvas, your machine blew up or something or whatever, if I receive it by the due date and time, I will read it, for example, through email. But use Canvas as a PDF in the submission link that I will put in Canvas. Each report may only be submitted once, may only be submitted as a complete report, and must be submitted by the due date and time. A report not submitted has a grade of 0. No late reports are accepted. Each student is required to submit original material for their individual report. Make sure it's original. You write it yourself. You can get ideas from other people. They can give you suggestions, but it's your writing. You put down what you think. Although collaboration is encouraged to conduct research. Collaboration does not include copying from another student or allowing a student to copy from you on individual work that is submitted. So you write your own. Now, sometimes I have people from other countries, this is their second language. They feel uncomfortable because they think that their English isn't as good as maybe someone who is from the United States. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter how you say it as long as you say what you think. And usually what you think, if I can understand it, it's usually pretty darn good. So I don't grade, I don't judge on the literary structure. I grade on the content. So say what you know is right, and only say what you know. Don't say what you don't know. So write it yourself, no matter what. Okay, because I want you to do it yourself. Submit your report through Canvas as a PDF file. Do not use a cover page, but use the title below on the first page where the student supplies the information in italics. So this is your title. And then put this: individual project report submitted as partial fulfillment for requirements for the project management course at University of Colorado Denver. By, and put your name, put the date, and then the content, 2 or more pages. Okay. I prefer not to see 10, 20, 30 pages coming in. Now, some of you say, there's no way I'm doing that. Well, good. Don't do that. But I don't want to see one paragraph coming in either. I want an adequate amount of presentation to present your research. If you don't have enough research to cover 2 pages, then you're probably not doing enough. Go deeper, go broader, and go the distance. Okay? So that's pretty much an introduction or instruction to project instructions. I hope this helps. The purpose of the project instructions, let me reiterate, is for you to do something that you're interested in. Don't worry, oh, is he going to like this? I'm going to like it if you like it. These projects are for you. For you, something you're interested in, something you want to go deep in, something that's going to be exciting for you. That's what's interesting. That's what I want you to do. So focus on what you want, not what I want. And if I can tell that you like what you're doing and you're really into it, I can tell by how you present it. That's what I want to see, regardless of what it is. But write it yourself and make it yours. That's all I have for these project instructions. And between now and the next time I see you, I want everyone to be safe. Don't take anything for granted. Stay healthy so you can keep learning and keep working, because you're going to stay healthy physically and mentally. So between now and then, take care.